Thanks so much, everybody, for joining today's 30-minute product demo of Eventgroove. We've got Taylor Robinson here today, and he's going to show us what Eventgroove can do. Taylor?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Heather, for having me, and thanks everyone for joining. So today, I'm really excited to give you all a walkthrough of our fundraising platform, and hopefully you find it useful and we can help you raise more money for your organization. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on our company and some of the different services that we provide. So we are Eventgroove. We've been around actually for over 20 years and loosely based out of Bozeman, Montana, of all places. So originally, kind of the start of our company started as ticketprinting.com. It's since been rebranded to Eventgroove Products, but in terms of like what that service does, I mean, it is very much as it sounds. So we work with event organizers, nonprofits, et cetera, across the country, and we have a selection of customizable tickets, raffle tickets, event tickets, posters, flyers, badges, et cetera, and you can kind of customize that, and then we actually print and ship that directly to you. And we work with around 75,000 customers a year with this, and the majority of them are actually either event organizers or nonprofits. So working with our customers, they asked us, can you help me sell tickets to my events online, or take my fundraiser online? So we built an events platform and a fundraising platform. On today's call, we're going to really focus on the fundraising platform. But just so you're aware, if you did have like an event or a banquet coming up, we certainly could help with that. And how that works, we really work with you as the organizer to help you set up your own online ticketing. And so that could be for a live event where you're selling tickets to the event, a virtual event. If you wanted like a gated live stream event, we could do that, as well as what we're seeing more of, kind of hybrid events where you may have an in-person banquet or event of some type, and you want to sell tickets to those that can attend, as well as have a live stream available to those who are not able to attend but still want to participate. And for nonprofits, I've added this year open or reserved seating. We do a lot of banquet fundraisers, and a lot of times they have table seating, so we can do reserved seating and sell individual seats to those tables, or the table as a whole, maybe at a discounted price. So that is available for you. So I just wanted to point out these other two services, but again, we'll focus on the fundraising today. So in terms of the online fundraising, we really work with you as the organizer to create your own online campaign page, and that's where you would direct people and hopefully receive donations. And that can be just an online type fundraiser only, or we are set up to really do more of a hybrid type where you may be having that banquet in person, but you want to sell some tickets online or receive some bids online prior to, but also have that work in conjunction with your actual event. So rather than just going through a long PowerPoint presentation with all of you, I wanted to actually go ahead and show you the actual platform. So what we're looking at now, this is Eventgroove Fundraising. And in terms of what we do as a platform and kind of the piece that I think we might be able to help with is we help you create your own online campaign page. And we have all different types of campaigns you can do. The process is going to be really similar for all of these different types of campaigns. And obviously we only have 30 minutes today, so we won't be able to look at all of them. Today, I think we'll focus on raffles and auctions, since these are probably our two most popular types of campaigns. But just so you're aware, there are other things that you could do or could explore later. And you could run these as individual separate campaigns, or you could also do, we call it an all-in-one campaign, but it could be just a blend of maybe you have a raffle and an auction, and maybe you have some sale items like t-shirts or hats, you could create a single page which has all of those different components to it, and that would be like kind of a one-stop shop for your event. So we're really set up for you as the organizer to do this yourself. So we give you the tools to create that public-facing page. And then there's also going to be a back-end set of tools available to you as the organizer. And that's where you'll have your reports, there's promotional tools, and then of course, an editor so you can make changes to your actual campaign page. So it is designed to be do-it-yourself. With that said, and I'm sure every company kind of says this, but we do have a great customer support team. Most of our team has been with us 10 plus years. So if at the end of this you are interested, certainly you can reach out to me, or if you call our support phone number, you will speak to a human, not a robot, I promise. So we're certainly here to help, and we can hop on screen share with you and learn more about your organization's needs and see how we might be able to help set this up with you, and just check through everything to make sure it's set up exactly the way that you want it. So why don't we take a look? I'll first show you just some examples of the public facing piece, and that's going to be that campaign page that you create, and you would direct a ticket buyer or a bidder to go to learn more about your raffle or auction, and then hopefully buy tickets or place a bid. So we'll take a look at that first, and that's kind of the view of what it would look like for a donor. And then I'll also take a few minutes at the end to show you some of the tools available to you as an organizer to manage things, make changes, promotional tools, etc. So why don't we start off with a raffle campaign? So what we're looking at now, this is just an example of a campaign page I put together. This is just kind of a basic one. I'm sure yours will be much more attractive, but there's all different types of layouts here. So really anything that you see on this page, you can customize for your campaign. So for example, if you wanted to replace our branding with your own branding, or choose a different layout, wording, colors, if you wanted progress bars, countdown timers, all of these are things you can turn on and off and customize for your needs. You'll also be able to customize the link here. So you can customize the subdomain as well as just your campaign name. And if you wanted to, we can also work with you. It's a bit more involved, but we could also completely change the domain for you if that was important. So you will have your own link, and this is the link that you would use on your website or social media, et cetera, to direct people to your campaign. And in terms of the campaign itself, so there's a lot of different components. On this particular one, I have here to buy entries to the raffle. I also have turned on for this one where you could also just do just a pure donation. And that could be in addition to buying tickets or standalone. And it's going to show up here. I think probably more importantly, it shows up during checkout. So let's say someone's buying 5 tickets and they go to checkout, they'll be prompted and could leave an additional donation for you. This section here, this is an open text area. Hopefully all of you come up with much more exciting descriptions for your campaign than I have here. Typically, this is going to be 2 or 3 paragraphs kind of describing your organization, the campaign, and your cause. You can also do images and videos in this section if you wanted to. So again, customize this page as much as you want to. But in terms of the raffle itself, so there's 2 different ways to set up your raffle. So the way this particular raffle is set up is if I were to buy tickets here, it's going to give me a chance to win any of these different prizes. So we see this is probably the most popular way to do it, but we do see a lot of both. The other option being more like a basket style raffle, where maybe you want someone to be able to buy, say, 5 tickets for a chance to win this tent, and maybe 3 tickets for a chance to win this cooler. So these tickets would be in line with each one of your prizes, and you could set different pricing for that. And again, it will give them a chance to win X number of chances for one versus Y for another, and they'll add it to their cart and do a single checkout. With either option, I do strongly recommend creating pricing tiers. So for example, buy one ticket for $10 or buy 10 tickets for $75. And it just creates that incentive for them to buy more tickets, and I think it should help you sell more tickets. Other parts of this page, so again, this can be turned on or off, but if you do have sponsors or someone that donated some of these prizes, you can certainly add as many as you would like to here. You can also link out to their website, which I know a lot of them appreciate. So that's an option for you as well. And in terms of one of the other components, we call it our kind of peer-to-peer functionality. And this is something you may or may not need, but we have seen a lot of success with it. And how this works is you can set up two different tiers. So this might be members or teams, or ticket sellers and chapters, or members and chapters. So how this works is if I click on members here, these might be members of my organization that are going to help you sell tickets to your raffle. So these members, they could be selling tickets in person, or each of them will have their own version of this same campaign page. So if we look at like Eric Massey, and I click visit Eric Massey's fundraising page, he's going to have his own version of this exact same raffle that you've set up, but he will have his own link. So Eric can now share his link on his social media, and however he wants to, and anyone that comes to Eric's page here and goes and buys tickets, that sale will automatically be attributed to Eric as the seller. So it's a fun way to get more participation from your members. You could have like a leaderboard, which a lot of them keep it fun. They could also belong to a team. So for example, you might have students and classes. So it might be the 3rd grade class, and they're kind of competing against the 4th and 5th grade class to see who can raise the most money. And you can also do perks or incentives for your top sellers, as well as your top teams of sellers. And similar to the members, each team will also have their own version of that campaign page where they could sell tickets. So again, just a kind of a fun way to get more involvement. If someone were to come just to your main page and you have this peer-to-peer turned on, when they go to checkout, there will be a drop down just from kind of the standard page where they could select the team member or the team that they want to get credit basically for that sale. So that is an option for everyone. We are seeing more and more of that recently, so I just wanted to make sure you were all aware of that. So that's kind of it. Just again, this is a basic raffle page. I also wanted to show you quickly an example of an online auction page. So let's go over here to an auction. And again, I have this one set up kind of similar. All the components are the same, what you can turn on or off for this. But for the auction itself, so here you'll see I have some of my different auction items. There are 2 different styles of auction that you can do on the platform. So the way this particular auction is set up is called an English style auction. And basically what that means is you're going to set a starting bid price. You'll set your increment for each item. So maybe this has a greater increment. Maybe the next bidder has to bid $50 more, for example, on this one, versus the next bidder would have to bid $5 more, maybe on this tent. And how this works is people go back and forth, and as they've been outbid, we'll send them email alerts and they can just come back and change their bid. So this is probably the most popular style auction. just so you're aware, the other style you could do, we call it a proxy style auction, but it's really going to be more like an eBay where a bidder can come in here and they'll set the maximum bid price that they're willing to go to, and the system will automatically bid in those increments until it hits their max price, and then it'll automatically turn off for them at that max bid. Typically, again, the English style is more popular just because there is no max bid, and it does create more participation because those people keep coming back and getting alerts that they've been outbid instead of just setting it once. So that is an option for you. Another thing I wanted to point out, so all of this is completely mobile optimized, the page itself as well as the checkout process. And during checkout, you do have the option when you create your auction to turn on text alerts. And during checkout, that bidder can opt in to receive alerts if they've been outbid on an item. And I think back in my PowerPoint here, I do have a screenshot of what that looks like. So you'll see here, as soon as they've opted in to receive text alerts, and then as soon as they've been outbid, it'll let them know they've been outbid. And it will also include a link back to that auction page we just looked at. And it also links directly to the exact item on that page. And I think that's important, depending on how many items you have in your auction. But let's say you have 50 items here. And keep in mind, most people will be on their phone, so you don't want them coming back and scrolling forever trying to find that item to place a new bid. So it takes them right to it, and then they can place a new bid. And the nice thing is they don't have to re-enter their credit card information. So their first bid, they will enter that. And then each subsequent bid, they just change their bid amount and re-enter, and they don't have to input their credit card over again. So another reason why it's nice to have the link directly to the item is if you are planning to do an auction where maybe it's in conjunction with an actual banquet or event, so you could turn on this kind of silent auction style maybe a week prior to your banquet, and you can already be receiving bids. But then at the banquet itself, maybe you have a lot of what I see is like a long booth or something with your different auction items. And in front of each item, you could print out a QR code, and that code would link directly to that specific item. And that's where they could go at the event itself. They would just scan that QR code and go ahead and change their bid or place a new bid on that item. So we are seeing a lot of that kind of hybrid where you're doing both online and in person at the banquet, and it should help you get the highest price per item possible. So that's kind of it. I mean, I know I went kind of fast here, but that's kind of it in terms of public facing, like what a ticket buyer or a bidder would see. I did want to take a little bit of time to show you some of the tools available to you as the organizer. So if I click over here, what we're looking at now, this is, I'm logged in now as the organizer of that raffle that we first took a look at. And this is really my dashboard or your kind of home base area for you as the organizer to manage your campaign. There's all different tools available to you in here. So obviously one is going to be just your sales report, so you can see how many tickets you've sold. If you did have other team members within your organization who are helping you with the raffle or auction or whatever that may be, you can add them as administrators so they could log in and help you make changes in here. You could also add a widget if you do have a website. This will function, so if I go ahead and click on that, it'll function really similar to a link, but it will create a nice panel on your website, and you can kind of customize the look and feel of that. And this would show up on your actual website, and if they click more info or buy items, it would take them from your website to that campaign page that we looked at previously. And these are really easy to add. So if you did want to add a panel like this on your website, click Save and Get Code, and You can copy and paste and maybe send this by email to whoever manages your website. And for them, it's really just as easy as adding a link. It's just going to automatically create that panel. If I go back to my dashboard here, and I'll scroll down. So when COVID hit, we really saw like more and more, everyone's like, we're only going to do online because all of our in-person banquets have been canceled, right? Now we're seeing a shift to kind of a hybrid where maybe you're selling tickets online to this raffle, but you also want volunteers. Maybe you're going to give them a packet of 10 tickets each to go sell to their friends. And so we do let you like report those in-person sales because we know that you might be doing both. So you can report those sales one at a time, or to make it easier, you could upload like a CSV or Excel file, which just has all of your in-person sales, and it's going to add them, all those ticket buyers, to your raffle so they receive a chance to win. So that's kind of your dashboard. I'll really quickly show you. I know we're short on time here. If I click Edit Fundraiser, so in terms of like what's involved to create a campaign like this, so step one, you go to the home page, click Start Fundraising. You'll create an account, and you will be asked to register your organization. So you will need your EIN or nonprofit ID to register with us, because we do have to know that you are in fact a nonprofit to do a raffle. For an auction, you'll still register your organization, but you don't have to be a nonprofit for that. So that's step one. And then step two, you'll click Create New Campaign. And there's a step-by-step guide. I have a lot of advanced options turned on, so I have more steps than you would see. Typically, this is going to be 4 or 5 steps. And anything that you enter on these steps is going to be reflected on that public campaign page that you create. So we don't need to go through every step on this call. A few quick things to point out. So if I go to the raffle step here, here is where you would set up your different pricing tiers. And here's where you can add all your different prizes and again, different layouts. In terms of how the winners are drawn, you could have our system draw the winners automatically at a date and time you choose, or you could draw them yourself. And to do that, you would just export your sales report from our platform, and how you draw the winners is totally up to you. Another thing to point out, so if I go to the page design step, I did want to show you here, you can do text to give. So for someone that's buying, like clicking a link on your website, it'll just take them directly to that page. But if you did like at your banquet or fundraiser, you could also have like a sign, like, and you'll create a keyword. So maybe this is your organization's name or something like that. And if someone texts that keyword you create to a phone number we'll provide for you, they'll receive an auto reply link, which will take them directly to your campaign. So it just makes it easier, you know, if you have a poster or a sign or something, for someone to get to that page without having to type in a URL like on their phone. So that's kind of the quick tour. I know we're short on time here. So I did want to save 5 minutes or so to open it up for any questions you may have, thoughts, etc.
All right, well, thank you, Taylor. I'm sorry we didn't have time to go through the extensive tool set. I was looking on your website while you were talking. So you also do crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, a-thons, and I'm just going to assume regular, good old-fashioned donation pages, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And can people create unlimited donation pages for different campaigns, like Giving Tuesday, that sort of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. So, and another thing to note, so donations, we don't charge anything for those. For all the other types of campaigns, it's going to be a % of what you sell. For just a pure donation page, and you can have multiple pages, that's totally free in terms of our platform. There's still going to be a credit card fee, obviously, that's associated, not charged by us, but yeah, and you can customize those pages as well.
Okay, Great. And I did look on your website too. There's pricing right out there front and center for anyone that's interested. What I found really interesting was I've never actually seen the peer-to-peer raffle ticket fundraising. So has that been around a while? Like where, let's say I really want to support a nonprofit. So instead of creating, a fundraising page where I ask all my friends and family to donate $25, I try to sell them raffle tickets. I mean, I
Yeah,
would think that would be an easier sell because then they're actually getting something, possibly winning a prize. So I'm kind of fascinated by
exactly.
that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
interesting
how's it
because
work?
raffles, I mean, traditionally, before online raffles, really, like, you may have members of your organization and you're going to give everyone a booklet of 20 tickets to go sell, however
Yeah.
they can. So we've kind of mirrored, what's already been successful in person, and it's combined now with online. So it just makes it really easy for people that care about your cause and your organization to support you and
Mhm.
receive some type of incentive, like your class or your chapter is the leading chapter,
Yeah.
in terms of referring sales. So
Well, it seems like for people to do that for the nonprofit, like they really have nothing to lose. At the very least, they email their friends and family, and people either buy it or they don't. But it's not like they're stuck with an old school booklet.
it's
How long have you been offering that? Because I've never heard of it.
that has been kind of included with the platform since we started about 3 years ago.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay, great.
yep.
And you said that you could offer perks to the top sellers. Can you just give it a suggestion or two of what a good kind of perk is for a top seller of those P2P raffle tickets?
Yeah, it might be, I mean, it really depends on your organization, obviously, but um, it could be like a signed hat or memorabilia. It really
Mm,
does depend a lot. We also have another way you could go about it is turn on, we call it viral sharing, but when someone completes their order and buys tickets, you
mhm.
could prompt them to share the link with friends. And if they share it, you could give them an incentive, like maybe it's a free
Mm,
raffle ticket, for example,
yeah.
and they would only receive that, like, let's say they post it on their social media, their friend sees their post, clicks the link, and their friend buys the ticket. So you
Mm,
could do an incentive both for the friend as well as the
mm.
person who shared. So there's all different ways
Wow.
to go about
And
that.
how's that tracked? Like that's
Yeah,
automatically tracked through
good
Eventgroove?
question. So from the dashboard,
Mhm.
go back. Where is my dashboard here? Here we go. From my dashboard, the viral sharing component,
Mhm.
we call them promoters, and then we'll track earned entries. So if they share it and their friend buys a ticket, then you'll see like what entries were
Wow.
earned on
Is
that.
that done through like a UTM, something like that, or?
Yes, yes. So it's
Wow,
tracked.
that's impressive. And then something else I had never seen before was the buy it now button. I actually went super old school yesterday and used the buy it now button on eBay for the first time in probably 15 years to buy an old iPod shuffle because I miss those things. And it's like I didn't want to bid. I just kind of went in easy and just paid, the $70 to buy it now. But did you say that, I mean, are there like maybe major donors that'll just go in and like buy it now to just be done with it? Or
Absolutely. Like,
what's the best practice on that?
buy it now, we see this a lot, and it does happen, especially if it kind of goes above, like typically these go above retail value, or we see a lot if you have more than one item. So maybe you have 3 of these tents in your inventory. So
Oh,
you could have bidding on 1 or 2, and then have one that's just a buy it now. And that will take down the inventory automatically. So
okay. Wow. And then I think for the last question, I know a big part of what you do, and we didn't get to cover it today, but I've kind of got a question about it, is the merchandise. So let's say I'm a nonprofit and I want to buy like a t-shirt to sell, for $40, design
mhm.
it or however that works. Do you offer all that, including the production and fulfillment, meaning mailing of that t-shirt?
So yeah, so like you could add a sale component, like even if it's like in combination with this auction. So you could display, like if you just had some items that you already have in your inventory that you just want to sell here. Additionally, on our products platform here,
Yeah.
we can work with you to do merchandise. So that could be hats or t-shirts, a number of different things, and you could like sell them on your fundraising page, or we could just print like a batch of 20 t-shirts and send it directly to you.
Okay.
So it's up to you, but we can certainly help with that merch component.
Now would be a good time to be thinking about that for the holiday season, because it'll be here before we know it. And then just last thing, I got a press release this morning, and I just kind of skimmed through it, but I didn't realize that Eventgroove kind of is doing so much around the area of climate change and also donating a pretty large percentage of their profits. Did you get that press release? Did you want to kind of close out?
Absolutely.
Because
Our
that's pretty
CEO sent
awesome.
it to me yesterday. So we're 100% wind powered. We have all different types of certifications. I do know like conservation, and I've been with the company over 10 years. Like it's a very important thing for us as a company. So we've donated, I think, 47%, and I hope I got that number right. I'm trying.
It's 41. It's still
41,
really high.
thank you for correcting me. 41%, you know, back to conservation. So
Of your
that
profit.
is something that's kind of the heart and
Impressive.
soul of our company. Again, based out of Montana, and that's very important to us.
All right. So I do see that you have a lot of environmental organizations that use your products. So that probably makes sense as to why. All right.
Yeah,
Well, that's it. We're going to keep it short, 33 minutes. Everyone, thank you so much. Eventgroove will get the recording to you within 48 hours. And that's it. Short and
great.
sweet.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.